How's it going, guys? My name is OnesieBanette and welcome to my Week 2 PPL team builder against George SceptileMC and his San Francisco Arcaniners. Now, got a couple of things I need to say before I start this. This match is not going to be played by me. I've decided to take the executive decision to let SwagNet play this one because we had such a good first week. We've left ourselves in a great position, so I feel like it's time for SwagNet to show me what he's learnt. So if he can show me that he's actually improved himself and he's actually gotten a better player, I might let him play more. So he played awfully in every game that he's been in so far, apart from one, so let's see if he can actually do it. I'm sure that he will. But anyway, this is the team that I've built for SwagNet to play with. So we've gone with Volcanion, Ferrothorn, Lickitung, my god, Gramble, Megalatios, and Thunderous. Now, the team that George has will be on screen somewhere, and I'm about to, do things and stuff to get it up. So, the set that we've gone with on this Volcanion is Substitute, Toxic, Fire Blast, and Sludge Wave. And my reason for this was that I didn't think that George would be bringing his Salamence. I have too much that stops it, stuff that outspeeds it, and he can't really get a theoretical setup on me. He can't really get a good setup on me, so I didn't really think it was a good move for him to be bringing that. So this Volcanion set, if we look at his team, he has the Jirachi, Salamence, Ozumaru, wow, Tangrowth, Mega Sableye, Porygon 2, Manectric, Hitmonlee, Typhlosion, and Crustle. There is almost no reason here for me to bring Steam Eruption. The only reason would be to hit Typhlosion. Everything else is hurt a lot by Fire Blast and Sludge Wave, and I didn't think Salamence was going to be coming. So it didn't seem like Steam Eruption was actually going to be needed here. However, what I did need was the Sludge Wave. And the reason I've got Substitute here is because Mega Sableye is probably going to be some kind of Metal Burst set. Because if I make this Mega Sableye, if I make this Volcanion, anything other than Substitute here, this Mega Sableye is probably going to be able to live a hit and Metal Burst on me, and although it can't really do anything else to me, I need to be able to protect myself against the one thing it probably can do to me. And the good thing about this thing is that it also, with the EVs I've given it, the 252 HP, the 220 special attack, and the 36 speed, that makes it have enough speed to outspeed, I think, max speed Tangrowth. And the HP allows me to live a Bulldoze from a choice, 2 Bulldozes from a choice band Azumarill, because that's the only thing it gets that hits Volcanion super effectively. Otherwise, Volcanion switches into Azumarill all day, every day, and OHKOs it with Sludge Wave. So the thing is with Azumarill as well, Azumarill's not really going to be doing too much here, I don't think, because he's going to need Superpower, he's going to need Aqua Jet, he's going to need Waterfall, and he's going to need Play Rough. I can't see him having room for Bulldoze, considering it doesn't hit the rest of my team at all. Like, the only thing it would be there to hit is Volcanion. Now, this is George, so I can see him doing it just for that, but there's more important things that Azumarill's trying to do this game. It's probably trying to belly drum, it's probably trying to do all kinds of stuff. The only way he even has room for Bulldoze is if he runs Band or Assault Vest. Otherwise, he's got no room for it on any other set. But anyway, this Volcanion can do things and stuff. Fire Blast kills Jirachi, Tangrowth, OHKO's Crustle, OHKO's Manectric that isn't Assault Vest, and I don't think he'll be bringing it Assault Vest, but I could be proven wrong because it could do work against Thunderous and Latios essentially, but I think that this Volcanion is going to be able to do some work. It could really, really pressure him early game, and it could really because I'm probably going to end up leading with this thing, because I look at his team and I'm like, depending on what he brings, the only thing that really threatens this is if he decides to lead with Manectric. So, and I'm not sure he would do that when I have a Thunderous chilling. So, probably going to lead with this thing. Probably going to try and get a Substitute off early. And the only reason I've got Toxic as well, I didn't mention, is because of Porygon 2. Just so in case that thing wants to come in, I can deal some stuff. Because Porygon 2 is probably the only thing on his team that can actually switch into Volcanion. So, that's cool. That's all good and dandy. And now let's move on to the next one. This is probably my favourite set I've built this week, and it's probably because I've actually used speed tiers to my advantage. So, Endure the Ferrothorn. Now, you'd think that when a team only has one spinner, and that spinner is a Hitmonlee, and one defogger, and that defogger is of Salamence, you're going to want to try and run rocks. So he's probably going to be expecting me to bring some kind of rocks and spikes set on this Ferrothorn, and he's probably worked around some kind of counter for that. So, I look at Ferrothorn, and what on his team is the perfect stop to Ferrothorn? We have Tangrowth, which is probably not going to come because everything on my team, all of my attackers, all of my threats to it, Gengar, Volcanion, Mega Latios, Thundurus, all OHKO it unless it's Assault Vest, max HP, max Spadef. And even then it gets worn down a lot by Gramble and Co. So I thought the best thing I could do here, go for a substitute Swords Dance Power Whip knockoff set. And the fun thing about that is that with the 28 speed I've put into this thing, it's probably a silly number, but the 28 speed I've put into this thing makes it outspeed Mega Sableye, and the special defense EVs and the HP EVs allow it to live Shadow Ball's knockoffs from Mega Sableye. The funny thing is, the special defense investment here means that I can survive a substitute from a +1 Mega Sableye Shadow Ball that doesn't have investment in special attack. I can set up on a Mega Sableye, get a Swords Dance up, and then Power Whip or knock off something and hurt like hell. Because my substitutes can survive, I can outspeed, leftovers means I'm going to be keeping them in, and under a substitute I really hurt George. This team is really fun. But the reason I've gone for knockoff is because I could have gone with Poison Jab. If we look down its move pool, it does get Poison Jab. I could have gone with Iron Head, but I realised that it does nothing against Jirachi otherwise. I need a way to do something to Jirachi. I did consider Payback so that I could live a Fire Punch and peg it with a Payback, but I realised knockoff does the same amount anyway and gets rid of an item, so knockoff is the go-to move here. And yeah, this thing could really do work. But the next thing I looked at, I needed something. Even though I didn't think he was going to bring Salamence, I needed something that could stop Salamence, because I had nothing really that switched into it. If he ran Iron Tail, Granball didn't do anything to it. If he ran stuff and things. Basically, I had one option to deal with this thing, and that was this guy. Deary me, Lickitung. You're such a strange individual, aren't you? Now, the great thing about Lickitung I've noticed is that it pretty much just, I can tailor this guy to take on any non-fighting type. It's great, because if you look at its coverage, Fire Blast, Ice Beam, Power Whip, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, then Headbutt, look up Earthquake, Brick Break, Aqua Tail, look down again, Surf, keep going and we find stuff like Focus Punch if I want to run a Sub-Punch bulk set. We have Iron Tail ourselves. We have, we look down, Whirlpool to trap, wrap, work up. This thing's move pool is ridiculous. Even Curse if I'm feeling banterous. But this is ridiculous. Just look at this thing's move pool. And the thing is, we've looked at the calcs. I've shown calcs for Lickitung, and it takes hits. And the great thing about this is that I can live. I can get, an Outrage from a Life Orb Salamence that's adamant does not 2-hit KO me. An Ice Beam does 90%. Like, I think the minimum it does is 79%. So with Stealth Rocks up, which I'm not carrying, why am I saying that? Basically, I can lower this thing down to a point where Ice Beam just breaks it. If I switch in and this thing goes for Outrage, I Ice Beam it or I Wish Protect until it confuses itself, and then with Life Orb Recoil, it stops. If he brings any other set than Life Orb, I barely get 3-hit KO'd and I have Wish Protect. If he brings a Dragon Dance with no Life Orb, I still don't get 3-hit KO'd. It's amazing. This thing is so bulky on the physical and the special side, and the great thing about this is it has Eviolite, so it's not even going to be much of a slouch on the special side either. So Lickitung here is pretty much here to wall the Crustle, because Crustle can't touch it. Crustle genuinely cannot touch it. I think Stone Edge from a +2 Crustle does literally the square root of about 50% max. And even then, I have Wish Protect, and I have, obviously Ice Beam isn't going to do much, but it's still great to know that if I can get that thing down to Sturdy, I have something that's pretty much guaranteed to be living any hit from that thing. So, it's here to roll. Jirachi, I guess if it's physical, it can do stuff against the Azumarill. Obviously, it can't take an Ice Beam. It can stay in and... Azumarill can set up on it, but it can stop Tangrowth with the Ice Beam. It walls Salamence to high hell. It can live a hit from Hitmonlee. Typhlosion pretty much doesn't want to deal with it either. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how Young Tongue takes moves against this guy. So yeah, let's move on to the next guy. And to partner up with Barton, to partner up with Young Tongue, I've gone with Granbull, Choice Band, Intimidate. I need the Intimidate in case Crustle tries to set up. I need the HP investment just so I can try and live a hit from it. And I need the Choice Band so that I can punch holes through him, because the only switching he would have to this thing would be a physically defensive Porygon 2 or Jirachi. So with the set I've gone with the Player Off, the Crunch, the Heal Bell, and the Close Combat, I just completely cover his team. Legitimately, Jirachi does not take a Crunch. Salamence doesn't take a Player Off. Azumarill doesn't take a Player Off. Tangrowth can take a Player Off, I guess, if it's physically defensive, but it's not going to enjoy it. Mega Sableye dies to a Player Off. Porygon 2 hurt by Close Combat a lot. Manectric is dead. Hitmonlee is dead. Typhlosion, I guess Crunch can hurt it a lot, and it's still not really going to want to switch into a Player Off, but it's still ridiculous how much damage this thing can do. And Crustle, I 2-hit KO it with Player Off, and it can't 2-hit KO me back without a Shell Smash up. So it's great. I'm loving this Granbull calcs that I've been doing. But I've got Heal Bell just in case I do accidentally get Toxic on something like Young Tongue or Dugary, and this can do things and stuff. I'm really looking forward to playing George. I have a great matchup, and this should be a really good game. So the next one I've gone with, Mega Latios. Now, the thing is with Mega Latios, I needed Thunderbolt to hit the Azumarill, I needed Draco to hurt things, and I needed Earthquake to hit the Jirachi, and I had no idea what else I was going to bring. I originally had gone with Roost, but I changed my mind here because I thought that Roost was probably not the best thing to bring here, because if... I went with Defog because I'm not bringing Stealth Rock. That's what I'm trying to say. I went with Defog because I'm not bringing Stealth Rock, and it will be a great help to not take a quarter of my health off every time Thundurus T and Volcanion switch in. Obviously, it's the most offensive Defogger possible, so it's great, but Draco hurts him a lot. Like, even Porygon 2, specially defensive, isn't going to enjoy a Draco from this thing. Earthquake pegs Jirachi and just 2-hit KOs it. Thunderbolt kills Azumarill. It's brilliant. This thing is just here to punch holes. The attack EVs are so that I can get the 2-hit KO in Jirachi if it's running a max HP set. The speed is there so that I can outspeed, I think it was Manectric. I think it was just to outspeed max speed Manectric. And the special attack is literally there because max special attack is great. I've gone with Hasty Nature here because I wanted the attack nature. I couldn't afford to go Timid, and I didn't want to have to take Hidden Power Ices from Manectric and them do damage to me, a lot of damage. I thought that it was better to lower my physical defense here because it's lower anyway, and I can live a nice punch and a U-turn from Jirachi fairly easily. So I thought that was probably the best decision to go with. I hope it was the right one. We'll see in the match. I'm recording this late at night on a Monday night. I'm very tired. So, okay, and the last one we go with is Thundurus Therian. Now, I've gone with the Zap Plate set here with Thunderbolt, Sludge Wave, Volt Switch, and Knockoff, because I'm thinking maybe I can bluff a Choice Scarf or a Choice Specs at some point. Zap Plate makes it very ambiguous to whether I'm Scarf, and it makes it very ambiguous to whether I'm Specs. If he thinks I'm Specs and he switches in Manectric on my Thunderbolt, I can peg it with a Knockoff afterwards if he thinks that he can stay in or freely go for an electric move. It's really good, the things that I can do with Thundurus, because I look at it and I cover his entire team. His entire team is covered with this thing. The only thing I can't hit on there for super effective damage, I think, no, not super effective, or at least, do massive damage to, is the Mega Porygon 2, sorry. I'm really tired, so I've gone with the max speed so that I can outspeed Jirachi, so that I can outspeed, I think, Typhlosion at max. And yeah, I there's not really much else to say here. I needed to outspeed Jirachi that wasn't scarfed, and I needed to do as much damage as possible. Knockoff is literally there so that I can neuter the Porygon a little bit, and it does hurt Jirachi as well if Jirachi decides to try and switch in on a superpower or something. Salamence isn't going to enjoy a Thunderbolt or a Volt Switch, and you know, it's cool beans, it's cool beans. But anyway, that's the team I'm bringing, and I'm really hoping it can do a lot of work here, because I'm really enjoying prepping with Lickitung, prepping with Volcanion, and prepping with Mega Latios. I'm really enjoying this combination of Mons I've got here. Legitimately, having this guy around is the most interesting thing ever. Oh, I didn't mention about his attack EVs. That's so that I can break a Jirachi sub if it's max HP, max speed, I think. Oh well. If it's a sub-calm mindset, I beat it, basically. But anyway, that's the team. The match will be uploaded tomorrow, depending on... Oh god, what have I done? I don't know why I did that. I was listening to that. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. The match will be up tomorrow against George, SceptileMC, and it should be a very good match, because George is a cracking player, but we have the matchup. So I'm hoping possibly to take another notch in my belt and beat another good player. So we shall see. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next video. So thank you very much for watching, and peace. Take care of yourselves.